We'd like to welcome in now Carole McGranahan and Trisha Redeker-Hepner, who are going to talk a little bit about their asylum work. Ladies, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
So tell me a little bit about first how you get involved in this type of work and testifying on behalf of people in these cases.
I was contacted by attorneys who were looking for it, so I think specifically serving as an expert witness is the sort of thing you don't necessarily go in search of it. It depends where you work. The field site in which I had worked for so long in Nepal, which had been peaceful for many years, turned into a civil war, so it became a war zone. So all of a sudden the place where I'd worked for so long was in need for the first time of people to serve as expert witnesses in the political asylum system here in the United States. So I received a call in 2004 asking if I could do it. I thought it would be my first and only case, and now 10 years later I've served on over 90 cases for Nepalis and also for Tibetans.
Kind of a similar story. I did my field work in the Northeast African country of Eritrea, and while I was in the field, there was a kind of internal political meltdown, and I was there to observe a number of different dynamics that were part of what precipitated a wave of refugees, and a massive wave of refugees that's continued over the past, well, almost 15 years now. And I was actually originally contacted, the very first case was also in 2004, and it was a friend who I had known back in Eritrea, and it was his case in particular. He had made it to the US and was seeking asylum, and so he contacted me and put me in touch with his lawyer, and that set off a kind of chain reaction, I guess you could say. And in the past, well, since 2004, so about 10 years, I've done about 350 cases.
Yeah. I know, way more.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's just more Eritrean refugees probably than Tibetan.
But again, so it's not exactly something you can't decide, I want to be an expert witness and then go gain the expertise. It's something you need to have the existing knowledge when the crisis arises.
How do you even begin to select which cases that you testify on behalf of? Like, what's kind of the process you go through?
I put up what I call my radar, my truth radar, and radar of credibility, and read through the person's, they have to write a statement explaining their story. And go through looking for red flags, looking for perhaps green flags, things that to me say this is something that the person has really experienced, and whether or not it's a case I can support, as an anthropologist.
Yeah, very same process. First I ask for the I-589, which is the application for asylum and withholding of removal. I review that very carefully. I review the statement of the individual applicant. I talk with his or her attorney. Sometimes there are red flags. There are things within the statement that I either have questions about or that make me uncomfortable, and in which case I talk with the lawyer about it, and sometimes we can rectify those issues. Sometimes they're minor kind of hiccups in the case, and other times they actually indicate something more serious. So it is a question of whether I have the expertise about the particular claim, as well as the time. I mean, this is an enormously time-consuming kind of thing to do, and it's most of it, the vast majority of it is pro bono, and it's not something that we actually get much credit for in the context of our professional academic careers. So it's kind of an extra, a kind of an advocacy commitment that we make to the populations that we've worked with.
And building on that, so you're putting all this time and energy in. How does that feel when sometimes you're successful and sometimes you're not? And you know that these people are sometimes going back to difficult situations.
Well, in fact, having an expert witness involved, particularly one who has a lot of experience in the country, dramatically increases the potential of the applicant to get a favorable ruling. And so in over 350 cases that I've worked on, I think there's really only been a half dozen where the claim has been denied, and usually there's a mitigating factor, a felonious, like a felony arrest or something like that, or a DUI that interferes with the nature of the claim.
Yeah, my experience is the same. Having an expert witness gives the case just a so much greater success rate. So I've had 2 cases that have failed, and both of those are being appealed now. Out of 90-something, because they shouldn't have failed. And this is one of the things that most Americans don't know, is just how arbitrary, in some ways, the political asylum system is. It depends to which judge you're assigned, and many judges have political positions on political asylum and on people coming from certain countries. Like all Nepalis should get it, all Nepalis should not get it, all Eritreans are lying. So there's a whole spectrum, and so there's a lot of luck and chance actually built into the system. And so having an expert witness swings you out of the luck and chance camp in many ways and puts you on very solid ground, because you have someone in the room who can say, here's what happened in Nepal today, and here's how it links up to this person's personal case in ways that are very very important in court.
That's great. You guys have both had such a high success rate.
The
Yes.
downside, of course, is that about 80 to 85% of all asylum applicants actually are what we call pro se. They don't have an attorney and they're representing themselves. And they're oftentimes in detention and they don't have any access to being able to contact people like us. And so we're able to help a small number of the people who are applying for asylum, and they tend to be the ones who already have access to resources and privilege. So it kind of reinforces an existing element of inequality within the asylum system.
Right.
What do you enjoy about being able to do this for people?
Immediate gratification,
Yeah.
making a huge difference in somebody's life. You know, we have a lot of arcane knowledge about far corners of the world, and oftentimes there aren't immediate ways that we can apply that. And this is one of those ways that we can apply our knowledge in a very meaningful way. And it's incredibly rewarding to participate in that process.
Yeah, I feel the same way. So I strongly believe in just anthropology in general and its need in the world, its relevance. I feel its power in the classroom, in my research and my writing, but this is the one thing I do that matters the most, because this is a life or death situation often for people, and my presence in their case, my testimony, means they don't have to go back to a country where they might face death, and that is, it's emotional, it's powerful, and it's, I'm so grateful that I can help in this way.
That's amazing. You're both doing amazing work. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for stopping by
Thanks.
and sharing that, and good luck in the future.
All right, thank you.